Welcome back to the Nash Potatoes Outdoor Show. This is episode 34. Today I'm in Vail, Colorado doing the Booth Lake Trail. This actually goes right past the Booth Falls Trail, in case you're interested. This is going to be a total of 10 miles, 3,000 feet in elevation gain. Don't go anywhere. So I've actually done the Booth Falls Trail before. That hike is considered a moderate hike. The trail I'm doing today is called Booth Lake. It just goes a little bit further. It's considered a difficult or a hard hike. And so I think it's going to be a good one. Life has been kind of weighing me down, so I thought I'd get out for a little mental health day. So I think I'm going to talk a little bit about mental health today, if that interests you. I know a good majority of the population deals with anxiety and depression and whatnot, so I got some stuff on my mind. I might unload it a little bit on you in a positive manner, so don't go anywhere. So I'm only about 1.25 miles in, kind of taking it slow. I've got all day. I don't work till 6 o'clock tonight, just the 6 to 9 shift at the hotel. But I want to talk about my mental health struggles here a little bit. Some of you know my story. You know, I dealt with adrenal fatigue a lot of my mid-30s and struggled with suicidal thoughts and all kinds of crazy symptoms that comes along with that. The stiffness in the neck and the brain fog and the irritability. Dealt with that while I was going to college. I was age 33 through 37 I went to college. Now what I'm dealing with is I actually googled it last night because it was driving me so crazy. My racing thoughts is what I was dealing with, and brain fog and a little bit of anxiety, and there's actually something called anxiety brain fog. And it's just that, it's the racing thoughts and uneasiness, and so that's kind of what I'm dealing with right now. But I found this book called Hack Your Anxiety, and I don't know the author's name. I need to apologize for that. But just by taking action, finding this book, purchasing the book, downloading the audio book, and I started to listen to it, just by taking that first step, my anxiety has been cut in half easily, just by taking control of the situation. So the racing thoughts were killing me. I'd be brushing my teeth and my mind would start wandering, and just in the time that I brushed my teeth, 14 or 15 thoughts would just flash through my mind, and my mind perceives them all as being important, and then I never really get the chance to complete a full thought, which is where the brain fog comes in, and then the anxiety comes in, and it's like a vicious cycle. Oh, it was torture. So anyway, Hack Your Anxiety is the name of this book. I'm feeling much better today, you know, mainly because I'm out in nature, but also because I took that step of labeling it, discovering it, labeling it, and kind of taking action. So that's my story. I'm going to keep on moving. Here we go. So I guess Booth Falls is somewhat unimpressive this time of year, and you actually can't even see the falls until you get right on top of it. I think when the snow melts, the falls are running with quite a bit more volume of water, and it's a little bit more something to look at. But right after the falls, you just take a short right, and that trail goes up to Booth Lake. I just shedded my hat and my outer layer, and I'm gonna keep on moving. We've got 3 more miles to the lake, and I'm hoping to see some wildlife, so don't go anywhere. Alright, I think I'm like 2.5 miles in, maybe 3 miles in. Just a couple more miles to go. I wanted to talk a little bit more about this anxiety issue. This book that I'm listening to, Hack Your Anxiety, brings up some really good points. You know, in our society, if you're busy and if you're stressed out, then people think that's kind of cool, right? Like it makes you look important, makes you look wanted. But if you're depressed or anxious, those terms still get a very bad connotation. In this book I'm talking about, she actually was sleeping in her cabin when she started to feel really anxious in the middle of the night. And finally that anxiety got the best of her, and she woke up and her house was on fire. And so that's an example of if you can tap into this anxiety and figure out what's the root cause of it. Our body's natural instinct is to warn us when something is off. So I think it's what I'm trying to figure out is what's the source of my anxiety. I'm not really sure, but she says that first of all you got to stop thinking of anxiety as a bad thing, something to overcome, something to beat. It's not that. It's just something that you have to recognize. I'm really dying to listen to the end of this book. I'm about halfway through it already, but I would highly recommend it. Hack Your Anxiety. I'll put the author's name on the screen, but I'm going to keep on moving. Don't go anywhere. So this is a pretty cool view. Thought I'd find something to talk about. 3.15 miles I've gone. I've got another 1.85 miles to go to the peak, and then another 5 miles back. But this hike is kind of pushing my limits. I typically like to hike 6 miles, and 9 is kind of like my max, so this is 10. But the way it's laid out is the first 5 miles is uphill. The second, the 5 miles back is obviously downhill, so I figured I could manage that. Wanted to give you some tips about this trailhead. There's only very limited parking, but there's a school about a half mile down the road where a lot of people tend to park at. So yeah, that's the trick. If you're going to hike a long ways, make sure half of it's downhill and take lots of breaks. So I really enjoying this hike. The second half of the hike, so I consider the first half of the hike up to Booth Falls. The second half is way more quiet because most people don't even attempt it. So if you come this way and you want a little peace and quiet, definitely go past where the Booth Falls is at. But I'm gonna keep on moving. Here we go. This place is super peaceful. I've only got one more mile till I get to the end of the trail, and then I can maybe grab some lunch, sit at the lake, and then I'll head back down. But this is probably my favorite trail so far in Vail, Colorado. A lot of the trails, and maybe because I've been on so many trails that my standards are getting a little bit higher, but this second half of the trail is probably my favorite hike so far in Vail, Colorado, if you're interested. So I'm gonna keep on moving. Here we go. Oh yeah! As you can see, I made it up to the lake. My friend hiked this a few weeks ago and he said he saw some goats up here. And I keep hearing these noises like they might be goats, but I can't tell if they're birds or what. So the weird thing about this lake is that All Trails does not even show this lake on the map. It shows another lake over that way and a bigger lake back and to the left. And Google Maps shows that the bigger lake back and to the left is actually called Booth Lake. So I don't know what this lake is even called. You would think that it would be called Booth Lake since it's Booth Lake Trail, but Google Maps says that bigger lake back that way is the actual Booth Lake. So it's a giant mystery. So I think on this video I'll put Booth Lake ? I don't know if you can even see my face here, but this is awesome. I highly recommend this hike. This is my favorite one so far in the Vail area, and I'm going to get a totally different vantage point on the way down, so I'm going to get some more footage on the way back to the car, and I'm going to try and scout out these mountain goats really quick too. So anyway, I'm going to keep on moving. Thanks for watching. Many of you know I'm a big advocate for mental health awareness and obviously a big advocate for getting outside. And at least for today, my anxiety has diminished. I feel rejuvenated. Made some new friends, Allison and Steven. They were a ton of fun to hang out with on my hike. So I got about 2 miles left, but just wanted to tell you that getting outside, a little peace and quiet can do some good for your depression, anxiety, stress, whatever you're dealing with. I got so much clarity today. I actually have been writing things down as they come across my mind because it's like stuff that should have made sense in the real world, but there's just so many distractions I can hardly decipher what the hell is going on half the time. So I'm gonna keep on moving. Here we go. That's all I've got for you today. Thanks for watching episode 34 of the Nash Potatoes Outdoor Show. We will see you on the flip side.